the head with the what's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? Down in Sports Talk, it's Hump Day. Surprise! Yeah, we in the building, man.
Here.
You know what I mean? Wish we had some confetti or some birthday hats or something, man. It's been a long, dope, serious sports talk year, man. You know what I mean? I got my partner in crime in the building, old Pitch Clock Browski over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? In the building, live and direct. So this is what we do. We're in the building. It's Wednesday, man. And we figured the good people that are down in Sports Talk, we figured that we'll give y'all some extra stuff, double dosage. You know, we celebrating our anniversary. Almost, man. This is what we're doing. Next week, we're going to have guests. You know what I mean? And we're doing a double dosage again next week. Browski, what's good? How you doing? They missed you, yo. They missed you. Talk to your people.
I'm doing well, man. It's crazy. A year, you know, it says time flies when you're having fun, and it's just been, you know, some of the most fun I had, you know, all year, you know, doing something that I love doing is talking about sports. You know, I love sports. So why not talk about it? And I've been enjoying it. And it's funny that a whole year went past, man.
Like that, yo. Word.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, man. So like I was saying last night, you know, we was on a mission. Like, yo, I said, yo, how could I, you know, put some flavor into this show? Not that, you know, I'll provide the flavor. You know what it is, but I was thinking like it's Title IX was celebrating the anniversary. I've been, you know, accustomed to having, you know, females co-hosts, and I thought that there would be a vibe because a lot of people, you know, think females can't talk sports, and I think that's crazy. So I said, you know what? I said to hollered at the big homie Star. I was like, yo, I need your help. You know what I mean? I had some people, you know, chime in and stuff like that, and myself and this one over here, old Pitch Clock Browski over here, we hit it off from the door. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, I'm proud to say that I got a legit partner that I can say, hold the fort down, and she'll give it up to anybody in the sports tip. Talk her stuff and make it do what it do. So it's been a year of really, really, really good conversation. We had some fun, some dope conversations. I know she loved it because she had her team in the Super Bowl, World Series Bowl, you know what I mean? The soccer bowl, all of that stuff.
Listen,
so it was her year, you know what I mean? So we give it up to
year.
You know what I mean?
It was a fun year. You know, I would have loved if we could have capitalized on one of our many championship runs, you know. But we still got one more in us right now, you know. We still got one more championship run in us right now, and that's with my Philadelphia 76ers, you know, let's represent.
Absolutely. I see you. Yeah, so tonight we just going, you know, chop it up a little bit, man, get Browski's opinion on some things that we talked about last night. You know, the WNBA draft was Monday. We talked about that a little bit. Give our NBA playoff picks and all of that. We're going to do that. And we just going to have some fun, man, like we do. You know what I mean? So again, at the end of the day, man, it's been a year. We appreciate everybody that rocks out with us, that rocked out with us. We on Facebook, we on StreamYard, we on YouTube. Got some things coming, yo. So just rock out with us. And it is what it is. No pun intended. Where you want to start? So where you want to start, Yada? Where you want to go with it?
Well, you know what? We can start in what we was just finished talking about. The NBA play-in. I'm currently watching the Toronto Raptors play the Chicago Bulls. The Raptors are up. This was the 9-10 spot. It's a really rough game to watch. I just have to be honest. And you know, when they first threw around this idea of having a play-in tournament at the end of the season to determine the last two playoff spots, you know, I was for it. I'm like, okay, you know, who wouldn't want more basketball that's meaningful basketball at that? And the first year, you know, it was exciting because it was new and it was during the pandemic too. So it was like, okay. You know, we were starving for sports because everything shut down. And, you know, we was in the final stretch of the NBA season, you know, when it went down, you know, after, well, you know, guys who've been with us for a whole year always heard me say that after the All-Star game, that's when the season really counts. So when the NBA shut down in March, you know, that's when it was a bunch.
Thank you, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, thank you. and we'll talk about him too because we'll talk about him in a few too because I got words for that. But when the play in, and I was for it. I was loving it. It was more basketball. Yes, thank you. I'm starving for basketball. But now that I'm watching it, they need to tweak it a little because it shouldn't take 6 games to determine 2 playoff spots. I mean, let's really be honest. 6 games is too much. And it's 6 bad games. Teams are playing bad. I know everyone, looked at that Lakers T-Wolves game like, oh, they went into overtime. But if you really watched the game, it was a bad game for both teams. And the Lakers just happened to survive. They survived that. The Heat versus the Hawks game. It was a terrible game. It was so bad. And the Hawks, again, survived that game. They won that game. It was a bad game. And now we're watching another bad game. Well, it's not really entertaining. And after that game, we're going to watch another bad game because a guy by the name of Zion Williams, who is healthy and clear to play, but says he can't play basketball because he don't feel like himself. Here we go again with feelings. You know what I feel like he's sounding like? Another guy who's always in his feelings, and Ben Simmons.
We'll call him Zion Simmons.
Yes. So now, again, this is the playing game. This is a chance for your team to make it to the playoffs, and you're stating, even though I'm healthy, I don't feel like myself, so I'm not going to play in this game. Which this is the last game of the season right here. This is the last game of your season right here. But, well, no, man, I'm sorry. It's not the last game because there's another game for the 8th spot. But still, you don't want to play because you're not feeling you like yourself. That's a load of crap. But I feel like the NBA needs to cut down all the games. You can have 4 games on one day, single elimination. If you win, you're in. And we could determine the seeding by your records, head-to-heads against each other, road wins, conference wins, division wins, whatever type of win, your win percentage. But my God, we only need one day, 4 games. You start at 12, you end at 12. Monday morning, we know who's in the playoffs.
And start the playoffs on Tuesday.
We can start the playoffs on Tuesday. You want to start it on a Wednesday, but starting it on Saturday, that is way too long. I gotta wait till Saturday to see the first game of the first round of the playoffs. These guys been off for like almost a week and a half because there's so many games that they're playing to determine the 7th and the 8th seed. It's like, geez, one day, 4 games, 2 winners.
How hard is that?
It's not that hard.
Right.
2 winners from each conference. Western Conference, Eastern Conference. You got 2 teams. Look at the records. Look at the winning percentage. And then we know the playoff matchups. It's just nuts. How you feel about that?
That the idea of reducing it is dope. I think that again, it shouldn't take that long to go from the end of the regular season to the playoffs. If you want to have, like you said, that play-in situation, and you don't have to stretch it over, almost a week's period. Actually, it is a week. You know what I mean? You could have it, the day after the regular season is over, or on that weekend. Like you said, by Monday morning, you'll know who's playing who's going where, and has the playoffs start on Tuesday. But we all know it's about the cash rules everything around me situation. So Adam Silver, in his infinite wisdom, says, how will we stretch this out? How do we get more eyeballs on our product? So I think that, again, how they're doing it, it's brand new. So hopefully they'll figure out a way to get it, streamlined and make it a little bit more palatable before they decide to add 2 more teams to the play-in.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, NCAA. You know what I mean? So again, we talked about it behind the scenes in the green room, where you even mentioned the situation for next year. I think it's going to start next year, where they have this NCAA type thing going on, where they're going to have a play-in, an in-season
tournament for some type of like cash prize. Like, I think each team that's going to participate going to put up like 500,000 or something like that. It's like, what are we doing? First, you guys were complaining about the number of games, and then the amount of back-to-backs.
And somebody said, not to cut your wisdom, somebody said it shouldn't be a play-in.
Oh, somebody who is benefiting,
right,
from the play-in,
right,
said, "Oh, we don't even need a play-in.
We don't need a play-in."
Say that it was LeBron James. I'm not going to say it, but somebody said that, and they are greatly benefited.
And guess what they was doing last night?
Yeah, and playing in a game that went to overtime for no reason, because they were playing terrible.
And again, basketball. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I've been waiting to say this all day. I watched that game last night. Let alone from the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves were down, people that they needed. Anthony Edwards was playing like, I don't know, Edward Scissorhands. And nobody seems to mention that situation. I think it was in regulation where LeBron had 2 possessions. The first one LeBron threw away, and the second one I think was out of bounds or somebody traveled or something. That was on LeBron. Nobody mentioned that, but it's all good because they ended up escaping. That's exactly what they did. They escaped last night. The Minnesota Timberwolves, every chance that they had to win the game, they didn't capitalize on. Anthony Davis did what he needed to do, allegedly. You know what I mean? The guy that asked for $50 billion a couple years ago had to save them. Dennis Schroeder, the one who allegedly played himself. And he did play himself money-wise, but it is what it is. But again, people were crying about this situation, saying that it wasn't needed until they need it.
Yeah, so until they needed it.
Here we are now in the play-in. We can't even discuss legitimate playoff matchups until this play-in thing is over. So again, I don't know what to say about it. And to add the play-in tournament in season makes it even more convoluted.
That's weird to me. Like I said, they went hard for so many other things. They don't want to play back to back. They try to shorten the season. It's now they got
65 games to get an award, like
65 games. Then you got game requirements. 65 games. You got to play it to be even mentioned or thought of about any type of season NBA award. That's going to be interesting. It's just I just don't get the NBA. They don't cease to amaze me each year. It seems like every time that there's a new agreement, it's always something thrown in there. Something new. And now we got this play-in tournament, but
well, they're not checking for the Canterbury no more.
Nope, they ain't checking for that no more. They don't even care.
For small things.
Listen, they don't even care. They said, listen, as long as you make it in here, as long as you make it on time, you can do whatever you want. But we could talk about a little bit of the matchups because there is some really good first round matchups that I would definitely like to talk about.
Okay.
One being in the West, the 4-5 matchup with the Suns and the Clippers, which at the beginning I thought was going to be an amazing matchup. I was super excited to see these two teams go at it. They got a bunch of stars and superstars on their squad. But then here's the
Reality sets in.
Paul George is not going to play. He's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
available for the first round of playoffs, which to me means the Clippers will be eliminated in the first round of playoffs. Um, I can't see the Clippers beating the Suns without Paul George, especially with the firepower that the Suns have acquired and with Kevin Durant. And I just don't see it because I don't see who the Clippers' second scorer going to be. Norman Powell? What? Ain't going to be Westbrook, you know? So I don't think they have enough shooting power. When you look at the Phoenix side, you'll say, well, you always count with, well, they don't have no bench. True, but they're top heavy. And you're top heavy with some really good players, one Kevin Durant, Devin Booker who can get buckets, Chris Paul out there being the floor general and who can get buckets when needed. And then, your fourth option with DeAndre Ayton. So I think it's just too much for the Clippers to overcome without Paul George. And I think that's probably go 5 games. But I won't be surprised if they get swept. I wouldn't be surprised at that. How you feel
Um,
about this series?
that series is going to be good. I think it's still going to be a little bit interesting just because of who's in it, right? The Clippers, it wasn't, that star power and depth that they predicted. But again, it's always somebody being hurt. You know what I mean? It's either, like you said, I think we talked last night. It was either Kawhi would be hurt or Paul George would be hurt. You know what I mean? It's either or. You never get them for, in important, meaningful games in the season. They were excellent when those two guys are on the floor.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
right? But they couldn't really put it together on either end. They still got the number 5 seed, and they're going up against a talented Phoenix Suns team that is undefeated since Kevin Durant has joined the squad. And again, they have, the Booker kid, they got Ayton, they got some other things going on with them. I think they're going to be a little bit too much for the Los Angeles Clippers to deal with. And, what you said, 5 games. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that series, 5 games. Give them a gentleman sweep. You know what I mean? 4 games to 1. I see that. I see that.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. Let me write that down right quick. We both got Phoenix over the Clippers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what other series you want to talk about in the West? Can we talk about the Grizzlies and the Lakers now? You want to talk about that?
Sure, we can go Grizzlies Lakers. Let's see. This right here, actually to me is the Lakers' best chance. I feel like the basketball gods opened up the sky and granted them the Memphis Grizzlies. Because like if they couldn't get that 6th spot, being the 7th spot was the next best thing for them. Because I think in a 7-game series, barring health, the Lakers with this team can beat the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies right now are very suspect, especially with Steven Adams out. Dylan Brooks again running at the mouth said, "Hey, I want LeBron." He said that.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted LeBron. And me and my buddy, we was talking about this earlier today, and I feel like LeBron James is one of the most disrespected superstar right now when it comes to other players, because you never heard nobody say, "Oh, I want Kobe," "Oh, I want Jordan." Ain't nobody called them out like that by name, especially somebody who hasn't won anything. Like Dylan Brooks been talking a lot of trash, this whole season. which I love. I love the trash talking because that's a part of sports. You know, there's no trash talking, it's boring. But it comes to a point where you're doing all this trash talking, but you got nothing to show for it. It's all talk,
And you have to back it up.
and you have to back it up. So now, as we always said, it's shine time
Yep.
on Dylan Brooks.
Yep.
Because if you don't think that LeBron James is not going to take what you said seriously and to heart, he's going to show you that you don't want this problem. So I have the Lakers beating the Grizzlies in 6 games. 6 games, 7-2 out of here.
You know what? If the Lakers play the Grizzlies like they played last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves,
Oh yeah, they losing.
it's a done deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this about the Memphis Grizzlies. You know, off court stuff notwithstanding, we're not worried about that. We're not worried about John Morant, and hopefully, this will be a reprieve series for him, where he can kind of, distance himself from the stuff that he had going on earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks, he's going to try to get into the mixed physics. He's going to try to use his physicality. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be more than a couple of situations that bump off in this series. It's just screaming for that. I just think that, with Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. being able to kind of supplement and bring some energy to what Memphis is trying to do, I think that they can give the Lakers a series. I'm going to go Grizzlies in 6.
Okay.
I'm going to go Grizzlies in 6. So we both agree 6 games. You take the Lakers. I got the Grizzlies. Okay. And I think it's going to be very interesting. Like you said, that is going to be a storyline in this series. Like what Kid said, he wants to see LeBron and he can't wait to get at him and stuff like that. But then, he tried to kind of walk it back a little bit. Well, it's going to be an experience and this and son. You said
stand 10 toes deep on what you said, because what you said
they're not even hearing that part of the conversation. All
because
they're
what
hearing
you said
is
the first time is how you meant. Yeah.
Right. That's all they're hearing.
You meant that. So stand on it. Don't backtrack.
Absolutely. Kings and the Warriors.
To me, man, it's so crazy because it's so refreshing seeing Sacramento Kings in the playoffs,
Yep.
They haven't been in the playoffs, 2001?
Been a long time.
2001?
They almost left us.
22 years since they've been.
It's been a long time.
So it's very refreshing to see that, and also disappointed because they're going against Golden State.
Right.
At the time where Golden State is getting back to being Golden State, they playing really good Golden State Warriors basketball.
Right.
Sacramento Kings, they do a lot of scoring. They play no defense. You're going against a team that does both and does both very well. So I see the Warriors taking it. I'll give it 6 games also on the strength of, Wiggins coming back. He still got to get his legs underneath him, and also seeing how they will, come back together with, Kuminga minutes going to drop some because you got to give Wiggins some minutes. The matchup of Gary Payton Jr., going up against De'Aaron, De'Aaron Fox, because that's exactly why they brought him back, exclusively for the playoffs. Because GP is their best, wing defender. Besides, Clay is good, and then Wiggins is good too, but he hasn't been playing for over 3 months, 2-3 months.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, so that's why I say 6 games, because I feel like they're gonna play themselves back into rhythm with everybody. And Would I be surprised if Sacramento come out and win game one? No, because they're hype in charge. They haven't been in the playoff since like 2001. The city is lit. They got the beam shining. They got a lot of young guns that's hype and in charge. But after that first game, reality is going to set in, and it's going to be, oh, we're in the playoffs and we're playing against the Warriors. Like any given game, Steph can pop off 40, Clay can pop off 30, then you got Poole, and then you got Wiggins, and then you got Kuminga. So you got so much happening.
Draymond Green
Then you got Draymond Green down there chirping in their ears.
Right, that's right.
Being a bully. Do what he does best. Do what he gets paid to do. Is this in the playoffs? This is why Draymond Green is so valuable, and why this is the only team that he's viable on. Because he can't go nowhere else and be a star like this. This is the only team that he will start on and playing because of his leadership on the floor. Like, when people look at the Golden State Warriors, the first thing they mind, they think Steph Curry is the leader. But truthfully, when you get down to brass tacks, it's Draymond Green.
I thought you were gonna say brass knuckles.
I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to throw that in.
Gonna say brass knuckles and shit.
Boom.
Right. Listen, I got a shocker for you, yo.
There you go.
It's two words that people seem to be missing. And I haven't heard in anybody's analysis of this particular series right here. Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Mike Brown kind of knows those dudes over there at the Chase Center, right?
Uh-huh.
He's going to have those dudes ready. They're not the best defensive team in the world, but they're going to be ready. The beam is going to be lit. You know what I mean? De'Aaron Fox definitely improved his scoring and his efficiency. The kid Domantas Sabonis is there. They got shooters around them, but like you said, they got no D. Capital or any other font.
Capital, right? Lowercase, any other language.
I'm going to say this. Sacramento will win game one. They might win game two. My thing is going to be this. And again, people going to jump out the window, whatever. I also liked Atlanta last night, but that's another story. I think Sacramento is going to beat Golden State.
Okay.
I got Sacramento in 7 games over the Golden State Warriors. Mike Brown is going to have his team ready. He's had them ready all year. Coach of the year, his name should be on it already. And I think that, again, they don't have – the defense is going to either, be a surprise – like you said earlier in the show, it's going to be refreshing and it's going to be a surprise. Or it's going to be like, well, we had an experience. We just didn't know we was going to give up 140 points a game. They ain't going to have to score to keep up with Golden State. But again, anything can happen. And I think the pressure will be on the Golden State Warriors because they're expected to beat Sacramento. But I think Mike Brown is very going to be very instrumental in this series. Okay, he's an intangible, very big intangible. He knows those dudes. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I think that the Sacramento, and I got an even bigger surprise for you when we get to the NBA Finals. So you say Golden State in 6, I say Sacramento in 7.
It's so crazy. It's so funny of how many coaches know Golden State, but yet
I knew this was coming.
Go
ahead.
Can't stop them.
Right.
You can have them. You can have them young guys prepared. Oh my God, so prepared. But everything changes when those lights hit, that playoff atmosphere hit,
that beam,
and then that's when you know that basket looked like a pinhole.
Right.
You can't hit a damn thing.
Diddly poo in the net.
and then the worst thing is you can't make a stop on the other end but the other team can stop you.
Right.
They get stops. They know when to. Let me call a timeout. Let's regroup. Let me flip the script real quick. And now, they put the clamps on the Kings, and the Kings out there looking crazy. I'm looking for a good series. I'm hoping that it may give us 7, but 6 looks to be like the right amount with them.
Man,
And then
all it's going to take is a game 7 in Sacramento, and they're going to be going crazy. They just going to be really looking at who's refereeing that game. Because man, look at here.
let's.
I don't even want to have a flashback to that. That was crazy, and that was a game that the Lakers shouldn't have won. But we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
Hey, yeah,
we're going to talk. You want to talk about the East?
Well, I mean, the number 1 seed doesn't matter because whoever playing the AFC, it doesn't matter. But yes, we can definitely talk about the East. We could go what? Boston Hawks.
Yeah.
With a 2-7 team. Boston gonna sweep them. I think it's only 4 games and they out. They don't have any.
The end of the Trae Young era in Atlanta.
Oh, it's done. The Trae Young era is over. It's crazy. It's nuts. Yo, give me one moment. I gotta let my cat out. My cat is in here acting crazy.
All right.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, the Bear gonna take a break. We in the building right here, rocking it out, man. Down in Sports Talk, man. We are in the building talking about the upcoming series with the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. Man, I think that Boston, second in offense, second in defense. The story is real consistent with them. Even though they failed to finish with the NBA's best record, and they were in the finals last year. I think that, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is another chance for them to get their shine on, and shine time for them too. It's shine time for that organization. All right.
Yeah,
from, Mazzulla, the coach Joe Mazzulla, you know what I mean? Now they're going to, Robert Williams is going to be around to play because remember last year he was missing the action. He was hurt. So again, I think that Boston is gonna be too much for Atlanta. I'm gonna give Atlanta a game. I'm gonna say Boston in 5.
I see Boston in 4.
Okay.
It is shine time for Boston this season. Definitely, I think it's going to be the last season that we'll see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown together. Because if they don't make it this year, then you got to blow it up. Like it's been too many seasons with them two as a duo, and they just can't get over the hump and win the chip. It's probably time for Marcus Smart to go. If it doesn't work out this season, you may just have to blow up the whole squad for real. Coaching will be a factor I believe for Boston in the playoffs because he's a rookie coach. He never been in this position before. It's different between coaching in a regular season game and coaching in the playoffs because you don't always have tomorrow. You could be down 3-0, or 2 or 3-2. 3-2. Like this could be your last game, so you don't always have tomorrow. So I think coaching may be a factor for them. Hopefully he makes the right choices. But I definitely see them destroying the Hawks. I mean, I watched the Hawks play yesterday. They trashed the Heat, but it was still
because the Heat didn't show up.
Yeah, they did.
That's all that was. You know what I mean? 22 offensive rebounds to 6. You can't win a game like that, yo.
Yeah, you definitely can't.
And where was playoff Jimmy Butler at?
I was gonna say playoff Jimmy. He didn't show up. He didn't show up. Trae Young is Trae Young's not Trae Young. Before a couple years ago, 2 years ago, Trae Young, the next Steph Curry.
Right. I didn't believe that then.
Where's all that talk at? Where's that talk at? They trying to get Trae Young out of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Trae Young is just just waiting for the season to be over, and he getting traded out of Atlanta. Like it's just craziness down there. And as we talked the other day, we brought up the question is, well, did Atlanta get rid of the wrong guy?
That's right. We
You
talked
let
about it.
go
Atlanta
a
got Nate
quality
McMillan.
coach. You
Yep.
let go a quality coach
Yep.
with a bunch of great coaching experience for a guy who wanted to play his way, and you playing your way is not working because look at your numbers. Look
Right.
at the team. The team is stale. The team is trash. It's horrible, and the organization, to me personally, I feel as though they gave away the wrong guy, and they're gonna regret. They're gonna regret letting Nate McMillan go. I'm not. I'm. It's not a dig at Quinn Snyder. You know, I think Quinn Snyder is an okay coach. I think he's a decent coach, but I feel like the Hawks was better underneath Nate McMillan, and the organization let a guy that they don't even know that they are very unsure of and actively looking to trade. They gave the team to him and he threw it in the trash. So that's all. That's my little rant on the Hawk. I mean, on the Hawks because Atlanta they had an upside, and then it went straight to straight to the ground real quick. It's like a season. It took one season, and then not even just one season, but addition that you bring one guy in who is an up and coming star from San Antonio, and he took over the team. He took the team from Trae because he said Trae ain't handling the team right.
He's the guy. He's the guy that they brought in to kind of help Trae Young out.
Yeah, and look how that happened.
Look how that turned out. Absolutely. So you got Boston sweeping. I got Atlanta
Yep.
Going down in 5. What about your Sixers?
Well, we get to play the Nets. I I see us winning in 5 because I know how my team is. Even though I feel like we should sweep them, but I think we're gonna go 5 games with the Nets. We probably lose one on the road. Um, it's gonna be funny, and it's gonna be there's no Ben Simmons, no Kyrie, no
No
KD.
Durant.
It's just Spencer Dinwiddie. What's my man name that we should have kept? The guy they got from the Suns.
Oh,
Mikal
Bridges.
Bridges. I like Mikal Bridges a lot. We should have kept him when we drafted him. It's so funny. We drafted Mikal Bridges and then traded him to the Suns for Jalen
Right.
Springer, who
One spot before the Knicks. Absolutely.
like that to me was a ridiculous trade. But who am I? But yeah, we're gonna take him in 5, and then get ready for that Boston series because that's the series that counts. It's the
Um,
Boston one.
the Philly Brooklyn series. Um, this team, is 2 different teams. You just mentioned Durant, Kyrie, you know what I mean, Ben Simmons. I think that they still, if you look at it on paper, you say Brooklyn Nets, they shouldn't even be in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But I think that again, after the trade deadline, Brooklyn went like what 12-15.
Uh-huh.
Mikal Bridges is looking like he's going to be that dude because they need somebody in the Barclays Center. But
Yeah.
again, I think that it's going to be another gentleman's sweep. I think the Sixers are going to beat Brooklyn in 5. When you talk about your Sixers a little bit, you talk about Joel Embiid. If he's not the MVP this year, They really need to have a play-in tournament for the MVP.
If he's not the MVP,
if he's not the MVP this year, I don't know, what else to say.
I don't know what else he got to do.
He had, multiple superhuman performances. I know that you could talk to them. The 50-point joints, the basket at the buzzer that they took away, which is incredible. You know what I mean? I still remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched that live.
It's scoring back-to-back scoring champion.
Yeah, and back-to-back scoring champion. This team finished the season as a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. So again, everything is kind of like funneled into this playoff situation for the Sixers. So again, get this glorified practice run against Brooklyn, because that's definitely what it's going to be, a glorified practice run. And then, you get ready for the second round, and hopefully, things will go beyond there. So we both have Philly winning that series in 5 games. Now, here's the series that I want to talk about. My beloved New York Knicks from 34th Street and 7th Avenue, New York City, right across the street from Macy's and all that. Julius Randle. You already knew what I was going to say. You knew what I was going to say. Julius Randle, you owe us one, B. I'm not even going to talk about no more how we should have had 50 wins. I'm not even going to talk no more about how we should have been the 4th seed and Cleveland should have been 5th. I'm not going to talk about that because we got to deal with what we got, right? Jalen Brunson had a breakout season. Julius Randle did his thing, but when it counted, he didn't show up. Now it really counts. And we're going to see what he's built up, or if he can play at all. RJ Barrett, he really leveled off. He didn't really get to that next level that people expected him to get. And I think that's a part of how Jalen Brunson, because he needed the ball. He needed to do what he needed to do. So that was going to take some of the shine away from RJ Barrett and the Obi Toppins and the Quickleys. And I get it. But RJ Barrett wasn't a bum. He did what he needed to do. He just didn't play to that RJ Barrett level that he played last year, where everybody was carrying him on their shoulders like he was the next thing coming to Dr. J or something. Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, the Hobie Hartenstein. The bench needs to show up. Be strong, right? Again, Cleveland, the Cavaliers, they're not to be slept on. Nobody expected them to win 50 games. They won 51, actually. They said that Cleveland is supposed to be a couple years away from contention. They were wrong. Donovan Mitchell helped them out. And again, Cleveland comes in with the league's stingiest defense. So how are the Knicks going to get past that? I think, also Cleveland's the top 10 in offense. Donovan Mitchell provided that. Darius Garland added some aggressiveness from the kid Evan Mobley, right? So I think that it's going to be a tough series. I'm blue and orange skies all day, hard body karate. So I'm thinking that the Cavaliers and the Knicks series is going to go down to 7 games, and the New York Knicks somehow, some way, they're going to blow a lead, be it 1-0, Kimmy, be it 2-1, be it 3-2. They're going to blow a series lead. And it's going to come down to game 7, and the Knicks are going to pull it out. No thanks to Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, wow. Wow. Excuse me. So, we do agree about the games. I do see the series going 7 games.
Okay.
But I think in New York Knicks fashion, New York Knicks fashion, that a guy by the name of Donovan Mitchell is going to single-handedly get these guys out of there on that game 7.
You've been listening to too much Stephen A. Smith.
You know what's so crazy? When I was saying that, I felt like, dang, that is exactly what Stephen A. Smith would say. But I have to agree. I kind of feel like it's going to be, it's like the Knicks got some type of curse on them. It's like some curse, or I don't know, it's karma. I don't know. You got bad juju from that building. I don't
Was
know.
that Patrick Ewing, the Seattle thing?
Is that I don't know what it is, but I just feel like some way in my soul, I feel like they're gonna do something that it's just gonna ruin it for them. And I have Cleveland winning in 7 games.
Of course you do. And I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I got Cleveland winning in 7, and it's crazy, but I just feel it. Like I feel like you will have a great run, and it just something everybody's gonna get like ice cold. You know,
Mm.
you know, and everybody gonna be shooting threes, and then when it come down fourth quarter, 2 minutes and some change left, the Knicks are just ice cold. Everybody shooting bricks, stupid turnovers, dumb fouls, and I feel like Cleveland is gonna break open right there and just take the series away. I just feel it. It's so weird. To me, the Knicks is kind of like they give me the same cowboy vibes, you know.
Oh man, now you wilding now.
They're gonna get
Now
in
you
their
wilding.
own way. Like they're gonna get in, like y'all gonna get in your own way. It's just something about the Knicks. I don't know. Like I said, it's some type of I don't know, some bad juju. It could
Bad
be Patrick
juju.
Ewing
Bad
thing.
juju, Smith
It could
Schuster.
be the James Dolan effect. It's just something that could go wrong, will go wrong for the Knicks in that game.
I hear
Game
you.
7.
I hear you. So we talked our playoff talk. We had a conversation behind the scenes in regards to the pitch clock situation in baseball.
Yes.
How it would affect, even if it would affect what goes on in the postseason. One of us is in favor of it. One of us is not so much.
I'm pretty sure y'all can guess who's in favor and who's not.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure the people can guess who's in favor of it and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Yada. Speak your mind. State your case on why the pitch clock and the rules, pitch clock rules, the throwing over the first base rules, the time clock, all that should be instituted in the postseason.
Most definitely. Because if you
And you're on the pitch clock.
yes, and because if you rule that these are the rules of this season, that we changing these rules, then you can't change it back during the postseason. Because like I said to you, it's like padding the stats. These pitchers and the batters, they are now getting in the flow of the timing. I feel like you would throw the timing off for the pitchers because now they're so used to having that clock. And now they got the clock in their head. And now the batter got the clock in their head. Oh my God, if you take that away, next thing you know, now you got the pitcher doing all playing with the resin bag, walking around the mound, playing tic-tac-toe in the dirt, scratching his balls, then step on the rubber.
I send you emails for that.
And then as soon as he step on the rubber to get ready to go through his throwing motion, the batter stepping out the batter box, adjusting his gloves, spitting, rubbing his hands, getting the dirt on the ground, rubbing it on the bat, kicking the dirt off his cleats, stepping back in.
The old Nomar Garciaparra routine.
Yeah, going through all that, and now a whole 2 minutes then went past before one pitch was thrown. So if you want to say this is the rules, then this is the rules. No shift, keep the pitch clock, keep the numbers of throwovers. If it goes in the extra innings, you put that base runner at second base.
Oh.
I want all of that.
Oh, you killing me.
Because guess what? This is baseball. You can't say that these are the rules, and then when it's more beneficial for the viewers and for the team, you want to say, okay, we're going to take everything that we just brung in, we're going to throw it out, we're going to go back to the old way. Then what's the point? What was the point of the whole season? Because now you got people in there who probably didn't deserve to be in there because of the rules. The rules might have helped them some. Now you take the rules out, everybody exposed. Now we got the shift. Everybody's hitting in the shift now.
The bases are not pizza boxes no more.
Yeah, now he can throw over to first base 1,000,000 times.
Right.
Everybody can come to the mound and have a meeting every two minutes. Like, this is crazy. You gotta keep the rules. If this the rules, keep it. You can't switch it up. If you switch it up, then what was the point of it all? What was the point of all of it?
I think the point of it all was to kind of get to October a little bit quicker. I wrote down some stuff in regards to last year's World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the games started at 8:03. Every World Series game started at 8:03 Eastern Time. Okay, that's important. Game 1 ended at 12:37. 4 hours and 34 minutes. It was a 10-inning game, so it took 4 hours and 34 minutes. Game 2 ended at 11:21. That took 3 hours and 18 minutes. Game 3 ended at 11:11. That was 3 hours and 8 minutes. Game 4 ended at 11:28. That was 3 hours and 25 minutes. Game 5 ended at midnight. 3 hours and 57 minutes. And game 6 ended at 11:16 p.m. 3 hours and 13 minutes. Now, I get the point about how you play 162 games one way, and then you're going to play the postseason a whole totally different way, which used to be the old way. Again, I think that, I don't really care for the rules that have been, initiated in the game, but they're not really causing a disruption to the game. We talked about that before with the hour and 57 minutes and 2 hours and 2.5 hours. That's fine. As a person who lives on the East Coast and the game starts at 8, I'm used to the game lasts until like maybe quarter after 11. You know what I mean? Cuts into the 11 o'clock news or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But not till midnight. So I get where you're coming from. But for me, as a Yankee fan, I would hate to be watching Game 7 and Jose Trevino is up at the plate, second and third, 2 outs, 2-2 count. And he, kind of like gets a brain freeze, and I get it. And now he's outside of the batter's box for 2 seconds longer. 2 seconds longer than he should be, and he's called out with a strikeout.
Hey.
No, they will burn Yankee Stadium down, yo.
Oh well, burn it down. Guess what? That's been the rules all year. Why?
Oh,
that's the rules all year.
So you telling me if it was the way at Citizens Bank Park and you guys in the World Series, and Alex Bohm is up, or
I would be.
What's the reliever? What's your reliever's name? The Sir Anthony guy. If he's out there.
I would be pissed. But guess what? It's the rules. And it's been the rule the whole season. Been the rule the whole season.
I get it. But I'm just kind of like bugged out behind that, man. It's bugged out. Real quick, you want to talk about any thoughts on the WNBA draft?
Oh, I thought it was a good draft. Shout out to South Carolina. Every last one of their players who entered the draft got drafted. That shows how great of a coach Dawn Staley is, and how if you choose to go to South Carolina to play basketball, then you have a good chance of getting drafted. It's like she prepares you for the second level. And I love it. So I definitely want to, throw that out there to big up, Dawn Stelly and how South Carolina freshies, all of them getting drafted. That was amazing. Aaliyah Boston going number one was a no brainer to me. Of course, she's the most WNBA ready. Um, she has great movement. As a power forward / center. Um, Great on defense. She moves her feet very well. It's very rare that she's caught out of position on the defensive end and on the offensive end, which is very important, especially in the WNBA when you're gonna be, going when you down low fighting, with them chicks down there. It's always a battle down
Right,
low.
all them 6-footers.
Yeah, it's a battle down there. So her going number one was a no brainer. Um, Maggie Seegers from Villanova getting drafted. What, number three? Three? Yeah, three.
I think it was 3. Yeah.
Yeah, was I was a little shocked at that, but I was a little shocked, but not really like overly shocked because she's a great scorer. A lot of people wanna was talking about Caitlin Clark this year. A lot of focus was on her, but Maggie Seegers, she was killing it for Villanova. She scored the most points in women's basketball history this season. She could score at any level on the court. She's a pure shooter also. So she has a really good chance of making that team. Um, we was talking behind the scenes the other day how these training camps, it's going to be tough. Like
All of them.
all
Yes.
them training camps going to be tough. I mean, we look at the Fever. They got a lot of young talent on their team
Yep.
in these past 2 drafts. They have multiple draft picks. They have multiple value players, and they just keep getting more and more talented. So this is the reason why we need expansion in the WNBA, because it's going to be so many talented women who's not going to get a roster spot because they don't have that many spots available. So the lack of teams in the WNBA is going to show again because there's going to be so many talented players that are going to have to go overseas to play basketball and to hope to make a roster next season on the WNBA. So expansion is very important. It needs to happen now. Not next year, not the year now. I mean, they talking about bringing the Supersonics back to Seattle. It's like, come on, what about the WNBA? I feel like they need more teams before you want to add another team to the NBA. I need at least 2 more teams next year because next season draft, that
Mm-hmm.
2024 draft
Mm-hmm.
going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm. And the year after that.
And then that 2025 draft, it's going to be even more crazier. So I need more teams so that we can see all this talent that we're watching in college
Right.
to translate
Right.
into pros.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I need to happen. So, with that being said, these training camps again is going to be crazy. That Minnesota training camp going to be nuts. That Dallas
Dallas,
training camp going to be nuts. That Atlanta
Liberty,
training camp,
Atlanta. That's right.
it's going to be crazy. And then we're going to get a new look for the Seattle Storm because Sue Bird retired. I can't think of her name now. She went to New York.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of her name, but yeah, she then went to New York to form her super team. So now Seattle gonna have a whole new look over there. And then this season, the big story is
Breanna Stewart.
yeah, there we go. Breanna Stewart left, went to New York, and then the big story is going to be Brittany Griner, playing, coming back after being detained for 10
And
months.
the Las Vegas Aces are the champions, and nobody mentioned them.
And they are last on the list to be mentioned because they are so stacked already. They already have a super team with the addition with Candace Parker.
Right.
That's crazy.
So for all y'all that haven't been paying attention to the WNBA and you claim you don't watch it because they don't play, this would be the year to watch.
It's so
to
much
indoctrinate yourself to the WNBA. This would be the year.
Every team is stacked like this, and we have 40 games now. And we have more games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm extremely excited for this season to start. I can't wait to see who makes these rosters and who don't. And I can't wait to hear some more expansion talks. I need them to expand the league. This is the reason right here. It's too many talented women basketball players out here that's not getting the chance to showcase their talent on a professional level in their own country. That's crazy that you have to think that I only have a certain amount of teams. Hopefully I get drafted to one of these teams, and hopefully I make the roster. If not, then I have to go overseas to play.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta leave everything I know to go to a foreign country where, one, I may not speak the language. Two, they might not even like me over here.
And you better not have a drop of weed on you.
Okay, and I'm away from my family.
That's right.
So
need a weed at home.
Please, can we get us an expansion?
My question to you would be, what team are you going to adopt? You don't have to say answer it now because we're going to do a WNBA preview. It's gonna be crazy. I'm rocking with the Liberty. You already know what it is. But I think that this season is gonna be very competitive, highly competitive, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am, because at the end of the day, to me, it harkens back to the Houston Comets and the Cheryl Swoop days, and when they was going at it with the Liberty and stuff like that. So again, I'm looking forward to some exciting basketball. That's 20 years ago, but again, it's a thing where you got these very, very talented women, man, doing their thing on the basketball court. And again, it needs to, the talent needs to be spread a little bit more than it is. You know what I mean? I like the draft, how quickly the first round went. The NFL needs to take notes. You know what I mean? And again, I'm like you. I'm interested in seeing how this thing develops.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, and again, I want to say thank you to this one over here, right? She's definitely held me down and held the spot down and did her thing for a year. She's the talker of the Star Report. If you don't know, you know what I mean? And again, she, follow her on Twitter. You know what I mean? Make sure you follow her on Twitter and all of that. You know what I mean? And again, I appreciate you, yo. You know what I mean? We just started having, and this is what we do. It's like if we're no cameras on or nothing like that, we would just be having a sports conversation. Yep, we go agree on everything. We're not supposed to, right? We both come from sports crazy towns, sports crazy cities. You know what I mean? So, and again, when you talk to somebody from Philly, they know what they're talking about when it comes to their teams, right? They know what they're talking about. When you talk to somebody from New York, definitely, we're passionate about our teams. We hold our teams down. We get at them when they don't do well, and we praise them when they win. And that's what it's about. Listen, and this is one of the best business right there, right over there. That one over there. That one.
You gotta look. If you can't go hard on your own squad when they're messing up, then what are you here for?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Because it was years I had to go hard body on the Eagles. Oh, those last couple Andy Reid years and those Chip Kelly years. Oh, I was hard body. He was like, "Oh, would you hate the Eagles?" I said, "No, I love the Eagles, but I hate what they're doing right now. So I gotta be on their top. I'm not gonna praise them when they're doing stuff. What am I doing? That's craziness to me. Like, fans who do stuff like that is crazy. It's like, how can you accept that? Like
No doubt.
they're trash, But
Mm.
it's for each their own. But before we do get out here, I just want to talk about Odell Beckham real quick going
Okay.
to the
Okay.
Ravens. That was quite surprising, especially since we don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to stay there. Now, people were saying, well, this was a tactic where they him and Lamar was communicating, and Lamar told him that he was going to be here. But you can say all you want to say, and then do something else, because he still hasn't signed any type of contract.
Right.
We don't know if he's going to play underneath that
The tender.
non-franchise tender, and then a lot of people was talking about the Odell deal. He signed a 1-year deal, 15 guaranteed, 18 million. Um, I feel like he just signed it for the money, truthfully, because
Yeah.
who else was going to sign him for that
That's
amount
right.
for 1 year
That's
after
right.
coming off an ACL injury? You were out a whole year in football, and not only do you have that ACL injury, but you have enough. Both your knees are messed up.
And what is this? I'm sorry. What is this about? He was going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. What is that about? Like,
Listen, and a lot of people were saying that, a lot of people were saying that if he didn't get hurt, he was going. Yes, he was going off. He had two. He caught 2 touchdowns. He had, he was out there balling, but we don't know because he got hurt. And now he's out for a whole year. Then he get 15 million guaranteed, 18. Like I just don't understand.
To a team that don't have a quarterback, that's bugged out to me.
Yeah, a team that don't have a quarterback will sign a player coming off of an ACL injury that he was set back on. He had a couple of setbacks while he was out the whole last season.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get it, but it's not for me to get, because they can't even figure out if they want to pay the quarterback or not. They treating him like he is scrub.
Right. He's 26 years old. They treat him like he's 36 years old.
Exactly. And when we when we speak about quarterbacks, and I just can't get away from this Aaron Rodgers thing. They released a statement stating that the Packers want this year's 2nd round draft pick and then next year's 1st round draft pick. You don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play next year. You don't even have a guaranteed that he's going to play next season.
And again, that's not the Packers' problem. Absolutely, you know what I mean?
They backed themselves in the corner, where now they're going to have to pay whatever price the Packers put out there, because the Jets let Derek Carr get signed. They let everybody and their mom get signed. And for some strange reason, they don't want to talk to Lamar because it might not look good in Aaron Rodgers' eyes. Who cares?
Right. Who cares?
Because he might turn around and say, you know what? I'm gonna retire.
Right.
And now you got nothing. So
and then you watch Aaron Rodgers host like Wheel of Fortune or Family Feud or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it is what it is. Again, we've been on here doing what we do every Tuesday night. Now it's a Wednesday night, holding y'all down. All right. We will definitely be back in the building Tuesday night with a guest. My man Keith Avalon from playgames.com will be in the building. And we're going to be back at y'all next Wednesday night doing what we do. Before we get out of here, yo, I just wanted to speak to my hockey people.
Uh-oh.
Check this out. I do what I do. I got my buddy over here. And when we talk about hockey, I want to give it the attention that it deserves. The season is over now. The playoffs start on Monday. I want to give a salute and a shout out to the Boston Bruins. President's Trophy, 133 points. Regular season record, most wins, 64 wins. You know what that usually gets you? The President Trophy. You know what that usually gets you? An early exit out of the playoffs. Now, the Boston Bruins have been doing work all season long. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because you don't usually find seasons in hockey where you have 7 to 8 teams with over 100 points. The Boston Bruins had 133 points. They won the Atlantic Division. Toronto, the Maple Leafs, had 109. Tampa Bay had 96. And they're a team that's been falling off, and they won the President's Trophy and got beat in the first round of the playoffs, right? The Metro Division, the Carolina Hurricanes, 111 points. The New Jersey Devils, 110 points. The New York Rangers, 107 points. I'm not finished. Then you go over to the Western Conference. You got the Colorado Avalanche, 105 points. Dallas Stars, 104 points. The Minnesota Wild, 102 points. Then you got the Pacific Division. The Vegas Golden Knights, 109 points. The Edmonton Oilers, 107 points. The Los Angeles Kings, 102 points. And no, I'm not finished yet. The Seattle Kraken. You got a baseball team in Seattle. You got a hockey team in Seattle. I ain't going to say nothing else about that. The Seattle Kraken had 100 points, right? So, again, there are no really bad teams. And this is another playoff I'm looking forward to. I want to see if the Boston Bruins can hold it down. I want to see who's going to come out of the West because the West is highly competitive. Again, I'm into hockey, and playoff hockey is the best hockey. You know what I mean? I miss the days of Yada. We talked about games ended late. There's nothing like watching a hockey game in the playoffs till 2:00 in the morning.
That's crazy.
And I've done it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Hockey is crazy. And I just wanted to end on that note. And my hockey people, we're gonna definitely keep y'all updated and alert on what's going on as far as the playoffs are concerned. Before we get up out of here, any last words from the ubiquitous Yada Bear?
Only thing I got to say is I'm guessing if you score over 100 points, you make the playoffs in hockey because that definitely seems to be the trend going on in the NHL. But I definitely want to say we got a couple fights coming up.
Yeah.
Shakur Stevenson took care of that light work for him over the weekend. You know, that was light work, and he was I heard he was calling out Devin Haney, telling him, hey, don't move up yet. I mean, that's a fight that
we got some business to take care of.
Yeah. Don't move up just yet. Don't move up just yet, young man. I think we got some business to take care of. I would definitely like to see that. I saw that Tyson Fury is supposed to be fighting Anthony
Anthony Ruiz.
Nobody wants that. That's not the fight. Why won't these two guys fight each other?
I was hearing that Joshua and Wilder are supposed to be getting it on. Like, who wants to see that 5 years after the fact?
Nobody wants to see that now.
Nobody's interested in that now.
5 years ago, yes. 5 years ago.
That was the fight to make. You know what I mean?
It's like, why can't we have a unified heavyweight champion?
There's too much hair. It's too much hands in the cookie jar.
I want
too many alphabets.
Too many alphabets. Undisputed heavyweight champion. I can't get that. Everybody want to fight Ruiz again. Everybody want to fight him again. Like, come on, man. But at least we got Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford, that's popping off. Absolutely.
We got Handy Lomachenko to look forward to.
That's right.
And then, coming up very soon, fastly approaching.
Yep.
10
days, right?
10 days. We got Garcia and what can I think of his name?
Tank
Tank
Davis.
Davis. Tank Davis gonna knock Garcia out. Everybody, listen. Tank Davis gonna knock Garcia out. That's all I got to say.
All I know is, and I'm talking to my friends from the GHETTO. Figure it out. Get you somewhere to watch this fight, somebody's party, or get it how you do. Make sure you get this fight, yo, because the morning or the afternoon or the evening of the 23rd, that's all people are going to be talking about.
That's it.
That's all people are going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Listen, it's great. We in the building, down at In Sports Talk. You know how to do. Follow Yada Bear on Twitter. Follow, I'm RM Des on Twitter. We're on Facebook, YouTube, StreamYard. Hit that, smash that like and subscribe button. Support offering for the show. $ left-handed at Cash App and all that good stuff right there. We're about to get out of here. Don't go nowhere. We're about to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all be peace, whatever y'all do. And give us a shout, man. We've been doing this for y'all for over a year now. We appreciate the vibes, all right?
Wow.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.